Well, hello, South Valley Community Church. There's a number of things to talk about, but I want to talk about what is most pressing at the moment, and that is the fires. You thought 2020 couldn't get any worse, but the year just keeps getting more and more brutal. So, first, regarding the fires, I want you to know that the church has and is showing up. And by the church, I don't mean necessarily South Valley Community Church, I mean the church in this area. I've contacted pastors and churches, and people are going above and beyond. There are incredible churches in the area doing incredible things. I've talked with Westgate Church, Vintage Faith, Twin Lakes is doing great things. People are coming in. I've seen pictures where Christians and believers have brought in so many resources that there's the new problem is, how do we get enough trucks to transport the resources? And so incredible things are taking place in regards to that. Locally at South Valley, we want to be as prepared as possible if it gets worse in our direct areas. And many of you know the evacuation warnings are getting really close to houses. And we have people at the church in these homes. We have people on staff in some of these homes that are right on the lines of the potential evac zones. And so as so many churches have been doing great things to address things in their area, we want to be prepared in case things in Gilroy, Morgan Hill, and Hollister go bad. Right now it's looking good, but it changes so quickly. And so as I record this, we don't know what could possibly happen in the next hour or two in the next coming days. So just want to let you know that we want to be as prepared as we possibly can. This whole situation reminds me of the book of Lamentations. Lamentations is a very difficult book. It's depressing. It takes place roughly in the time of 586 BC, when Jerusalem is destroyed, and there's a prophet by the name of Jeremiah who writes these poems, poetry, talking about just the utter destruction and devastation that he's witnessing. And it reminds me just a lot, frankly, of 2020. I mean, this year has been a difficult year. Now, in the midst of all his lamenting in the poetry of sorrow and sadness, there's a glimmer of hope, and I want to focus in on that. But I don't want to jump through the pain part first. So, Lamentations chapter 3, it says, "I am a man who has seen affliction. Under the rod of his wrath he has driven and brought me into darkness without any light. Surely against me he has turned his hand again and again the whole day long." So you feel just the prophet saying, like, God, where are you? What are you doing in the midst of this? He goes on, verse 4, "He has made my flesh and my skin waste away. He has broken my bones. He has besieged and enveloped me with bitterness and tribulation. He has made me dwell in darkness like the dead of long ago." And so again, it's this prophet lamenting, God, there is so much suffering. When will it relent? Will we get a break? When will we see goodness again? And the lament goes on and on and on until you get to the midway point of chapter 3. And then he says this, and this is what I want to focus on. It says, "But this I call to mind, and therefore I have hope. The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. The Lord is my portion, says my soul. Therefore, I will hope in him. The Lord is good to those who wait for him." And so what the Bible teaches us is not necessarily that this life will be easy or just be filled with goodness, but it actually prepares us for difficult times. I mean, the whole book of Lamentations is a book of sorrow. But what it does tell us is to not lose hope. This world will have problems and issues and trials and tribulations, but we are to call to mind, to remember that God is faithful. God is faithful to his promises always. And so I want you to know that your church is preparing right now to do the best we can in response to these fires. If they hit our direct areas, Gilroy, Morgan Hill, Hollister, we're in contact with other churches as they're on the front lines in different areas. We're offering our help, whatever they may need. But the church is showing up in these difficult times. And as this year has been difficult, these past few weeks have been difficult, these fires have been difficult, I want you to focus on the goodness of God, the mercies of God, and the faithfulness of God. We've recorded a version of Great Is Thy Faithfulness, which is a song many of you are aware of, and it's taken directly from this line in Lamentations. And in the description of this video, you'll see a link to it. But just go ahead and when you get some time, watch this, worship your Lord through it, and focus in on His goodness and His faithfulness. Be encouraged. In this world, you will have troubles, but Jesus says He has overcome the world. May you live in such a way now in the present that you point the rest of the world to your King. All right, we'll see you soon.